All right, welcome back everybody to the deep dive. This week we're going deep on something that I know a lot of you out there are super excited about. It's the Big Screen Beyond 2 VR headset, which well they just unveiled it this week, so like we always do, we've been doing our homework, went straight to the source, Big Screen themselves, checking out all their announcements, and of course, we had to see what the VR community is saying, right? So, we've been watching a ton of first impressions and reviews from YouTubers like Optimum, VR Flight Sim Guy, Tyrell Wood, and Thrillseeker,
Yeah.
to name a few.
Yeah. We want to get the whole picture here. It's not enough to just, skim the spec sheet. We got to see what this thing is actually like to use. So today, our mission, could we choose to accept it, is to figure out what sets the Big Screen Beyond 2 apart from the pack. I mean, there are a lot of VR headsets out there already, right? You got your Quest 3s, your Valve Indexes, your Reverb G2s. So what makes this one special? Why are so many people calling it a breakthrough? And what does it all mean for the future of VR? Plus, we'll definitely take a look at how it stacks up against the original Big Screen Beyond.
Okay, so let's get right into it. When you look at the Beyond 2 next to some of these, like you said, more well-known headsets, what are the big differences that immediately jump out at you?
Well, the first thing you're going to notice, just holding in your hands, is the size and the weight, or I should say the lack of weight. These goggles are tiny, and they only weigh 107 grams. I mean, that's crazy light. Think about it. The Quest 3 is somewhere around 500 grams. And then you've got some of those higher-end headsets, like the Pimax Crystal, which can weigh over a kilogram. Even the first Big Screen Beyond, which was already considered pretty light, was heavier at 127 grams.
Yep.
So Big Screen is really emphasizing this idea of every gram matters. It seems like their whole design philosophy was centered around making this thing as lightweight as humanly possible. And from what we're hearing, it really shows. People are saying they practically forget they're even wearing it sometimes. I mean, just imagine the possibilities if VR could be that comfortable and unobtrusive. It could really change the way we move and interact in virtual environments. Longer sessions, more freedom of movement. It's pretty exciting.
The VR headset you forget you're wearing.
Right.
That's quite a thought. But of course, it's not just about being lightweight, right? It's going to deliver on the visuals too. So what about the lenses? What are we looking at there?
Well, the optics are definitely a huge part of this story. And it looks like Big Screen has made some serious advancements here. They're claiming a 116-degree diagonal field of view, which is wider than even the Quest 3. And the Quest 3 is already known for having a pretty impressive FOV. But it's not just about how much you can see, it's also about the clarity. They're saying 100% edge-to-edge clarity, which is ambitious, to say the least, in a very generous sweet spot. Now, a few reviewers, like Optimum, have already commented on this, and they seem pretty impressed. They're saying the visuals are super sharp and clear, even when you look towards the edges of the lenses. That's often a weak point with other headsets, so it's definitely a notable achievement if they've managed to pull it off. And what's really interesting is they've actually made the lens assembly smaller, even while increasing the field of view and improving clarity. Apparently, they've enlarged a hidden internal lens element, which is pretty wild, if you ask me.
So wider field of view, sharper image. But what about glare? That's always been a bit of an issue with VR lenses. Has the Beyond 2 managed to tackle that problem?
Well, from what we've seen and heard, glare reduction was a major focus for them this time around. Compared to the original Beyond, and to a lot of those traditional pancake lenses, the improvement seems substantial. And, pancake lenses are a more compact design that they often use to make headsets smaller, but they can be prone to internal reflections. VR Flight Sim Guy mentioned something like an 80% decrease in glare, which is massive. So it sounds like they've made huge strides in that area. And that's really important because glare can really break the immersion, especially in scenes with lots of contrast.
All right, so it's lighter, wider field of view, sharper, less glare. Now let's talk about the displays themselves. What kind of tech are we talking about here?
Well, the Beyond 2 uses these 1-inch micro OLED displays with a resolution of 2560 by 2560 pixels per eye, and they can run it up to 90 hertz. Now, micro OLED technology is really interesting. It offers incredible contrast. You get these super deep blacks and incredibly vibrant colors because each pixel emits its own light. Think of it like tiny little light bulbs all packed together.
Yeah.
VR Flight Sim Guy was raving about this, especially the level of detail you see in dark environments and games. And Big Screen has also mentioned that they've managed to improve the brightness compared to the first generation. They're using new materials and some clever techniques to really make those visuals pop. Okay, so visually they've pulled out all the stops.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned earlier that the Beyond 2 could open up the possibility of longer, more comfortable VR sessions. So comfort is key, right? I remember the original Beyond had that custom-fit cushion based on iPhone face scans. Is that still a thing? It is. Yeah, they still offer those custom-fit cushions. And they're even backwards compatible with the cushions from the first Beyond. So if you already have one, you're good to go. And, those custom cushions were really well received. They're super comfortable, and they do a great job of blocking out light. But Big Screen realized that, well, not everyone has an iPhone, and sometimes you might want to share your headset with friends or family. So they've added some new options to make the Beyond 2 more versatile and accessible.
Okay, so what kind of options are we talking about here?
Well, for starters, they've added physical IPD adjustment. That's interpupillary distance, which is basically the distance between your pupils. And this is super important for VR because if the lenses aren't aligned properly, the image can look blurry and it can cause eye strain. So the Beyond 2 lets you adjust each optical module independently. The physical range is 53 millimeters to 70 millimeters, but they say it can effectively accommodate an IPD between 48 millimeters and 75 millimeters. Big Screen claims that this covers about 99% of adult users, so much more shareable. But that's not all. They've also designed this new optional halo strap, which is kind of like those tactical night vision goggles you see in the movies. It rests on your forehead, so there's less pressure on your face, and you can adjust the eye relief, the tilt. It even flips up, which is pretty cool if you want to quickly see what's going on in the real world.
A flip-up VR headset, that's pretty slick. So can you use it without the custom face cushion at all with this new strap?
You got it. The halo strap is actually designed to work with or without the custom cushion. So if you want more airflow, or you need to be more aware of your surroundings, you can just ditch the cushion. Or if you want to block out the light but you don't have a custom cushion, they've made this new universal fit silicone light seal that attaches magnetically. So no face scan required. Much more user-friendly for sharing.
All right, so more ways to get a good fit, easier to share. They've definitely addressed some of the limitations of the original Beyond. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about eye tracking. Is that part of the Beyond 2 package?
It is. It's optional, but it's a pretty big deal. They're calling it the world's smallest integrated eye tracking system. We're using these tiny little image sensors, one for each eye, and they developed it in-house using their own AI research. Now, it's going to be rolling out in a beta program initially. And Big Screen is really emphasizing privacy, which is good to hear. We're saying no biometric data leaves your computer. So for developers, this is going to open up all sorts of possibilities. Things like foveated rendering, which can really boost performance by only rendering the area you're looking at in high detail. And of course, will be a great tool for research.
Wow, eye tracking in a device that's already that small and light. That's pretty incredible. And I hear they're offering some interesting color options too, right?
Yeah. So you've got your classic carbon black, of course, but they're also doing a crystal clear version, which is transparent, so you can see all the components inside. And then there's nuclear orange, which Optimum seemed particularly fond of in his review. He said it looks really striking and unique.
All right, so we've talked about what makes the Beyond 2 different, but why are so many people calling it a breakthrough? What makes it so special?
Well, it really comes down to the fact that they've managed to pack all these high-end features. I mean, we're talking top-of-the-line visuals, incredible comfort, all that stuff into this unbelievably small and lightweight package. I mean, achieving that level of visual fidelity with a headset that's practically weightless, that's a huge step forward. And a big part of that is their new optics technology. They've managed to create lenses that rival, and in some cases even surpass, the clarity of headsets like the Quest 3 while being way smaller and lighter. And the glare reduction is a major achievement too.
And those improvements to the fit and how easy it is to share. That seems really crucial for making high-end VR more appealing to a wider audience, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the adjustable IPD, the halo strap with the universal light seal, those are game changers. And the fact that they've integrated eye tracking into such a small device, that's a pretty impressive engineering feat. And it seems like they really listened to the feedback they got on the first Beyond. They addressed a lot of the concerns people had, which shows that they're really committed to making a product that people love.
So zooming out a bit here, what does the arrival of the Beyond 2 mean for the future of VR? Is this just a high-end niche product, or could it have a broader impact on the industry?
Well, I think it has the potential to be a real turning point. It shows that you don't need these big, clunky headsets to deliver a truly immersive VR experience. So this could really push the whole industry towards lighter, more comfortable designs. And while the Beyond 2 is definitely a premium product, those improvements to shareability and fit could help make high-end PC VR more accessible to a wider range of people.
And what about those new lenses? Could that technology have a ripple effect?
Oh, for sure. I mean, if they've managed to create lenses that are that clear and compact, other companies are going to take notice. So I think we could see some really exciting advancements in VR optics in the near future. And the focus on comfort, combined with the eye tracking, well, that could really accelerate the growth of social and interactive VR. It could change the way we connect with each other in virtual spaces. And finally, I think the Beyond 2 really demonstrates the potential of micro OLED displays for VR. Incredible image quality, compact size, energy efficiency. I think this is a technology we're going to be seeing a lot more of in the years to come.
All right, before we wrap up, let's just quickly recap how the Beyond 2 has improved upon the original big screen Beyond. I know we've touched on some of these points, but I think it's worth going over them one more time.
Yeah, definitely. So the field of view is significantly wider, the lens clarity is better, and the sweet spot is larger. They've drastically reduced the glare. The addition of adjustable IPD is huge. The new Halo strap and the universal light seal offer a lot more flexibility in terms of fit, and they make the headset much easier to share. It's lighter overall. They've added some new color options. The integrated eye tracking is a completely new feature, and even the brightness of the display is better. Plus, it's backwards compatible with a lot of the accessories from the original Beyond, which is a nice touch.
It really sounds like they've thought of everything. So, as we come to the end of our deep dive, what's the one big takeaway you want our listeners to remember about the big screen Beyond 2?
I think the main thing to remember is that this is a real step forward for VR technology. They managed to combine incredible visual fidelity with a remarkably light and comfortable design. And the fact that they listened to the feedback from the community and addressed a lot of the pain points, that shows that they're really passionate about VR and about creating the best possible experience for their users.
And that optional eye tracking is pretty exciting. It really hints at what the future of VR could hold.
Definitely. More immersive, more interactive. The possibilities are endless.
So I'll leave you with this thought. What aspects of VR are you most excited to see evolve in the coming years? Could these super lightweight, high-fidelity headsets like the Beyond 2 become the new standard? Or will things like standalone capabilities and price continue to be the main drivers of the market? It's a really fascinating time to be following the world of VR, and I, for one, can't wait to see what happens next. Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.